everybody, my name is Sherry. Welcome to my stamp studio. So today I am filming ahead of time, so I don't know when this will post, so I'm not going to tell you any current specials, tell you what's currently in or not in stock. I'm just going to show you the card, and then you can go to my website, or those of you on my email will get an email that has more information. And then after I'm done with these, that's all the creativity that I had done. So I'll have to in the summer I like to work ahead normally, so I can kind of play with my schedule the way I want to. This summer's been a little bit different. My dad's not well, so I'm sure that these videos will come into play with that. So let me show you a couple of things that may or not posted, and some of it I'll try to post them as things come back in stock, but if they don't come in stock and this is what I have filmed, then you'll have to see it and put it on your wish list. And go to if you go to my sherry.stampinup.net shopping site, then you can get a notification for when it's back in stock. So this is the new prairie grass. This is a fun little technique that you can use with the sentimental framing dies. This also has the sentimental framing dies and the new sunflower folder. Those of you that are getting June thank you gifts will have the sunflower folder in yours if you reach that highest level and you're stamping with me. So that's in your packet. And then this is the cone flower with the sentimental framing dies. And then this, as long as it stays in stock, this particular suite will be our August card club. So by the time this goes up, I know July will already be filled, so I'm not going to show you that one. We used the pairs, but you can go watch it. So today I'm going to use the Extraordinary Flora bundle. This is kind of a build on. A lot of times in the summer, whatever's laying here, I just keep going with the flow. So this is the third card, I think, in this series. So the way that this bundle works is I'm not going to use the stamps on this card, but here it is on the cover, and you know our stuff's always a lot larger than what it shows on the cover. And sometimes people ask, why are they different sizes? It's to keep people who steal our images and steal our designs and then try to sell them for $1 at very low quality. Places like Temu, and if you shop with them and they steal your information, it's just par for the course because they steal everything. They're not an original company. So in the catalog and on our cases, it's not the right size. That way, at least they have to figure out the size. They have to do a little bit of work if they're going to steal our stuff, and usually it's not right. So, but I digress. This is the stamps, and this is how I made this card. So you can see you stamp it, you color them all in, and then this one die will cut them all out at once. So it's super cool. This video is up because this is the original that started all of these, and that one's up. So then when I did these, I colored them. You can see mostly whites and oranges and yellows. And then I had two little flowers that I had colored pink, and I didn't end up wanting to put them on here. It's strawberry slush. So then this card, I have used the new metallic rub-ons and just those two little leftover pieces because they were laying on my desk. So that this card was left over from this one. And then when I cut these circles out, because I just wanted that little bit of a frame, it left me with these. So you can see on this one that I have used the folder. So I've already done this part. This is vanilla cardstock. It's 4 by 5 1/4, and I've run that through this folder. And then this was the centerpiece that got popped out of that. So if you want to see that be cut, I think I cut it in that video. It's been a minute since I recorded it. And then I just put these. You can see this folder is designed so that the imagery stops. And I wanted to have a nice little section on both where it was no longer on there. So that is run through there. So that is how I started with this. But for this one, we're going to use the washi tape. So here is the washi tape on this card, again with the sentimental framing. And then this is a 2-piece folder set. This is the other folder that has the flowers that was run through on this one. And then this has the frame that is strawberry slush again, and that has been sponged or brayered. So these are on white cardstock. So today I'm going to use the washi tape. It currently is not in stock. It is due back in July, as is the bundle. So you can see one of the things that you would probably like to know about this, because I didn't know until my girlfriend did a bunch of these, and this was her card. So she rolled through a ton of them for all of us. But with each roll, you get new colors. So don't design a whole card around a color of a flower because you might have to roll it several more times before you get that. So there's a lot of ways you can use the washi tape. I'm going to use it by putting on some vanilla cardstock. My cat was just on the table. Have a little bit of her cat hair there. So I'm just going to pull this off. And then I'm going to put this right up to the edge because I cut this a little smaller than I probably should have. So you want to make sure it goes on flat. Get a nice good image. I can already see this is different colors than my card I've already made. But this one has lots of darling duckling, which is perfect since that's what my card is. So here is one pass of the die, and because I shouldn't have cut this first. This really needed to be 5.5 to get it all on here. So a little bit of these will be cut off, but that's okay because you can always tuck them under something. So once you get one full pass, and the way I knew that that was the size was I took my die and I laid it on the paper, and so that's how big I cut it, my paper. But 5.5 would be a little bit better. We get all of it on there with a little bit more of a. So this one you can see has a lot of the darling duckling. It has strawberry slush. It has probably some poppy. It looks like it's shaded spruce and olive. Some more darling duckling. But then look, this next twist is going to get a lot of the brighter greens and purples. It's kind of hard to tell because you can see underneath the lines, but here you can see that's purple. You can see that's much more purple than the red. So I don't know how many. I should have asked Susan if she knew exactly how many runs there were. And then if you get this on here, my other one was perfectly flat because when you're not doing it on camera, it's a lot easier to work with stuff. But you can just take this, see where these are kind of raised up. And I'm just going to work those out. It also makes sure that this is on your paper really well and it's not going to roll up. So I'm going to put this like this, and I am going to send it through my cut and emboss machine. So I have rolled these through, and you'll see this was just one pass through. Now we have a whole bunch of flowers that we can work with. So they just fall right out. And then depending on the color, you can put them on white, which makes them a little brighter. I liked them mounted on the vanilla for this particular card because I like it with the darling duckling. If I was using daffodil, then these would be pretty in white. And then you can use as many of them as you want on a card. So where did I put it? This card right here. Oops. That I showed you before. Obviously, it doesn't have all of them on it. So here's the extras. And this was when we did a shoebox swap with my friends. And these are on white. So this looks like I had the same piece of paper when I did that. So it just makes them a little bit brighter. But then you can stick all the extras that you don't need in one of these. You could use one of the plastic bags like I keep my embellishments in, but we all have these and we throw them out, right? And then just use the ones you want and you have some ready for later. They'd also make a fun little gift for people that you want to stamp with you and say they can't do it, because it would be a nice way to help them get started. Those of you that are, I can't remember if it's June or July, you're getting metallic rub bunch, you're getting the sunflowers. These are with July. If you stamp with me, you'll get some of those in your card. So let's put this together. So I did my vanilla based card, and look, it's dirty on the back. So fold this in half. This is just going to get mounted on, and then we are going to put this here and this here. So you can do it just like that if you want. I'm going to take my darling duckling stamp pad and then let's decide which way we want to go. Last time when I did this, I thought I decided which way I wanted to go, and it was opposite. I think this is opposite. That way you can just see it, but it might not be opposite. If it's not, I can always flip it over right and do it again. There's two sides to every paper. So I'm just going to lightly drag it so it picks up some of that. Just like that. That is opposite than the other. And then this one, I did not do this on my other one, but I thought I might do it just a tiny bit here. I don't want it everywhere. I'll just add some of that. So I'm gonna go ahead. To get all of these flowers on here, it's a lot of flowers, and I did use them all on this card. I'm gonna put this kind of down here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and tie my ribbon on. This is the Darling Deckling linen ribbon. You saw the strawberry on the other one, but this way I'll be able to tuck my flowers underneath it or on top of it and not have to go back and add ribbon once all those flowers are on there. Because like I said, it's a lot of flowers. So let's get a bow. This ribbon, if you push too hard on these things, it makes your little loops be flat, have a little crease in them, see? So I try to remember that and not do that. If you're gonna stick it in an envelope and mail it, it doesn't matter because that's gonna happen anyways. So because I wanna be able to tuck flowers under here, I am going to put some adhesive where I want the bow to be. And then leave the rest of it so I can tuck. So we're gonna go ahead and mount this on here. Which a lot of times, if you watch me, that's the very last thing that I do. I must have ink on my hands. It's getting everywhere. But there's a lot going on this card. Nobody will notice it. Pop this on here. Tighten my bow a little bit. Okay, now we're ready for our flowers. So I'm going to do part of them raised up and part of them we will use dimensionals on. I'm going to grab little ones. First, I'm going to kind of lay this stuff on here because some of it you can see has the angle. I'm going to try not to look at my other ones so they don't end up exactly the same. So we'll start by just laying this on here. Okay, I have a bunch of little ones left and these we can use to pop up. So I want to make sure that some things go under, some things go on top. And the last time I did it, I picked up my card and a couple of things fell off because I didn't have them all. But I find it's easier if you just kind of start laying them on. I'm going to flip this one around so my leaves go underneath because I want to see more of my flower. And then let's grab a dimensional. Do the same thing over here. Do all our ones that we want flat. And then I have several little things that were still left, so we can get these to kind of fill up some of the gaps that we may have or fill up into our image here. Makes you nervous sometimes when you take them off. It's like a puzzle that didn't have an answer. I'm gonna grab a big one for that because I'm not the most patient person in the world at getting those little ones off, which I'm gonna need them for those over there, but this is faster. It's nice to have all of them in your little arsenal kit. And you can see right here, I'm gonna need one of my tiny little things to kind of fill that in. And then that may be everything. So before I keep going with tiny things and stick one of those on something that may fall off. Yeah, that time we got it all. So see right here, let's just grab a little baby one. So what you want to do is fill in any gaps first so you don't end up with gaps and not have any pieces left to put them there. But that looks like that's really the only one. So then some of the leaves I'm going to put on flat. Just to kind of give one, I'm going to cover up this adhesive right here. That's where we did the bow. It's a little bit wider than that. I want the card to stick to the inside of my envelope. That would be no fun. And I want to make sure that I keep the oval shape, but you know, when you have a frame or a wreath and you have flowers on it, they kind of go out a little bit. This card's going to look different because my other one has the purples on it. This is the one that cut off the edge of the page, but it didn't, the washi tape's still there because the washi tape was there, it was just my paper. So it'll be fine like this, but I'm gonna do it flat since it's kind of got a place that's doesn't have the vanilla behind it. And then nobody knows. And one more. These, if you scrapbook, these would be fun to just roll a bunch through and then have them ready. If that was your photo, you could put flowers around it. It'd be great for wedding photos or Mother's Day. So there's all of our flowers on. So in my other one, I used these because, no, I did not. I used the ones from Card Club in July. But these, that color wouldn't really have worked so well with this one because these don't have the deeper greens that the other one did. I used the embellishments from the pears because there was darling duckling, but there's darling duckling in this, and then there's also these. I think I'll go with these. I didn't want to use the same one twice, and then when I brought the card over, I realized I thought that I'd use these because look how pretty they look, right? They look like they're designed to go with. So let's get 3 of the darling duckling and then 2 of the strawberry slush. And how simple is that? It's another one of these. So if you're somebody that goes camping or goes away to the lake for the summer and you like to bring stuff to work on with you, but you don't want to bring all your things, just run a bunch of washi tape through, pre-cut things, and then you can design to your heart's content. So here you can see these are totally different colors. See the other embellishments of flowers, but they both work with the yellow base. When I was all the way done with this, if you actually look closely, there's not a whole lot of yellow in it, because when I was seeing it like this, I could see darling duckling going all the way through. If you don't have darling duckling yet, I think that on this one you could use wild wheat. Darling duckling is brighter than wild wheat was, but it didn't end up being a whole lot of darling duckling on this, but still looks great. I do like a little bit of the ink added to that to kind of pull out that trellis. So this is the Extraordinary Flora bundle. So when you purchase the Extraordinary Flora, there is the bundle, which is the stamps and the dies, and then there is the washi tape. The washi tape you buy separately. It's due a little bit later in July than the bundle is. So hopefully by the time I finally get this up, it's available, or I'll be able to give you at least the week that it is. That's all I have for today. So now I have to create some more stuff so I can come back to film later. Have a great one. Bye.